I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, destroy and dissect guilty pleasure movies and decide whether they're truly spoilt milk or if they've ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, here we go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film or you're offended by bad language, you have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another wonderfully special, brand new episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Today we're going to be discussing the film Monster Squad, but before, introduce the people who are sat around me. Katty, how are you?
I am great.
How great?
Super great.
Oh, right, that's pretty good. Super great Katty. How's Hobo?
I'm subpar.
Subpar
Hobo.
Right, subpar Hobo.
Yeah, like super great Katty, subpar Hobo, and Cham. How are you feeling?
Do you know what? I'm feeling pretty good today. I think today is a good day. I've watched the film today, so I should be right up to it. Like most films where I forget about it, and I'm like, did that happen? Today, I think I'm quite clued up on the Monster Squad. Okay. So I'm alright with this one, so I'm feeling good.
I thought this was like one of your favourite films ever, so I was expecting, even without watching it recently, you were going to be the font of all knowledge.
Oh, no, not a font of all knowledge.
Katty, are you the font of all knowledge on this?
Not on this, but on other things.
Okay. Oh, well.
That can't be discussed over publications.
Well, before we get into Monster Squad, our top 3 selection today was sent in by Dan Hewitt, all the way from Japan. So thank you very much for that, Jadan.
As the when you on Street Fighter when you select E Honda, it goes Japan.
Do you know what? He loves Street Fighter as well.
Like
he's got one of those big controllers. So yeah, Jadan, if you need to find him, I think it's jadan.co.uk. He's on YouTube as Jadan, puts lots of videos about his time in Japan. And he's just a top guy.
Top Jadan.
Does he often sing, I think I'm turning Japanese?
Jadanese. So what, he sent a list of questions through, but we've picked, well, you picked this one, didn't you, Hobo?
So this is top 3 band cameos in films.
And Katty, I believe you're going first on this one.
Yeah, because I've only got one and I don't want you to steal it.
Right, okay.
I'm going to steal it.
So, mine is Real Big Fish in Basketball.
Oh, great selection. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Do you like Real Big Fish?
I love Real Big Fish.
I've never got into them.
See, I don't love them, but I do like them. I listen to them, but I love Basketball, so that's why that was on my backups.
It was also going to be one of my choices for one of the other selections, which were like films about sport that weren't really about sport.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh God, I love that film. Do you know one of the bits I love? And it's a really quick bit. It's the bit where Ted Denslow dies, and they're like, Ted Denslow died. He was 57. His hairpiece was 10. I don't know what the years are, but I just love it. It's just such a good little joke.
It's a great movie. That is classic.
So why do you like the cameo then?
Because it's Real Big Fish, and Real Big Fish are great. And I think just the Real Big Fish's sort of persona and the general vibe just goes really well with the film, because it's just it's stupid, they don't take themselves seriously, and it just matches really, really well.
It's not like some cameos where they're just shoved in there because like either they were friends or they was like, oh, let's shove in a famous cameo. And I agree.
They're quite an integral part to the film, aren't they? They're like at the games, aren't they, and play songs along, and don't they do the whole like dun 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 dun. Yeah, but they do like a ska version of that. Do you know what would be quite interesting to see how many of our choices are comedies? Is yours a comedy?
Well, I'm not going to give anything away about mine.
Both of mine that I had were comedies.
So what
Go on
yours?
then.
Okay, well, originally, I was going to go for Ace Ventura, because Cannibal Corpse are in it. There's a bit where he goes downstairs into this underground to find someone.
Oh, yeah.
And I won't go into it in too much detail, because the only reason I like it is because I don't like the band. He just does a really funny dance, right? Like, he does this weird little Jim Carrey dance.
Fucking hell.
But what I actually went for was Alice Cooper in Wayne's World.
Yes.
Because I
Nice.
completely forgot about it, and then was like, I love that bit, because Wayne's World's a bit dated now.
No.
Like, if you were stood somewhere and someone was like, oh, have you seen that like girl or guy over there? And they went, yeah, swing. You're like, fucking hell, who are you?
People are still referencing Borat,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, but Borat's at least that's 2000.
but also not as good as Wayne's World.
And terrible, just terrible.
I do like Borat. Maybe not the film, but the sketches. So I really like that. I like that. So he turns up just to set the scene. So they get backstage passes that they're really excited about. But I like that he hits them with all that knowledge about Milwaukee, don't he?
Yeah.
And they're like, do you come to Milwaukee much? And he's like, he talks about like, well, funnily enough, there's been a lot of explorers coming over here from the French missionaries or from the 1600s. And then I like it because the other guy who's in the band, he's called like Pete or something. He's like, isn't it actually an Indian name? And he's like, well, yes, Pete, it is. It's like, it's actually pronounced Milwaukee. And then I like it because they do the whole "we're not worthy," which was a massive thing back in the day. But I just thought that was quite a good way of flipping somebody's persona on its head. At the time, like, Alice Cooper was seen as this horrible, like, evil man. And then he came out with all these knowledge facts. So that was my choice. Hobo.
Oh, it's good. Oh, man, really good choices. So,
You sound really disappointed.
well, I need to automatically rule out because of my own rule, but I'm not going to mention Huey Lewis and the News in Back to the Future.
Right, okay. Why do I feel like you're going to say Euro Trip?
Eurotrip. Who's in Eurotrip?
I don't know. There's a band with Matt Damon.
This is Matt Damon. I didn't know if that was a real band, though.
Maybe not.
But I do like that. If it was about fake bands and movies, that would probably be my top one. And so, not to go the comedy route, because I did have a comedy one as my top one, but to go the alternate route, I'm going to choose Daft Punk in Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy.
Yeah. They not only appeared in it and were obviously, if anything, Tron Legacy nicked their style to a point, so they weren't just shoved in, but also they did the soundtrack.
Yeah,
and it was just a really
good soundtrack.
It's a really good soundtrack.
That's the thing. It's a beautiful soundtrack, and they're only a passing glance. But the thing is, if you didn't know about them, you wouldn't notice them. And I think that was the key thing about it. Is like they fit in that world.
Such a good shout
as themselves.
Daft Punk and Tron Legacy.
But my comedy
Legacy.
one was Blink 182 in American Pie.
Oh, God, yeah. Because they don't ever actually perform as a band, do they?
No.
They just watch him
They don't-
get laid.
Yeah, I don't know if they're even in the soundtrack.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mutt.
What? Oh, is it? Yeah.
Because then they turn up on American Pie 2 as well.
Do they?
I think the song starts the film in American Pie 2. I know a bit too much about this.
Yeah, American Pie facts.
Do you know what? I love American Pie. The first
American-
one,
yeah.
it's got such a special place in my heart. And I went to see it with my mum.
Oh.
But it was one of those weird times where it was me, my mum and my sister, and we went to the cinema, and we'd got there late, and they're like, you can't sit together. And I was like, I'll sit on my own.
Yeah.
So I went and like sat on my own. I don't want to have been sat there
And
while
then
there was all the
you
nudie
proceeded
bits.
to unzip and, you know.
Yeah, no, I zipped up, like tucked my arms in, got the little fake mannequin arms out, just had a jostle.
I hope they were tiny doll hands.
Oh, yeah. Just a little tiny.
What are you doing? Nothing? You little doll
I
hands
hope
shaking.
that was caught on the video.
Oh,
you doing
yeah.
that
Oh,
movement.
God, it might have been, yeah.
So that's our top three then. So, Hobo, which did you go for?
I went for Tron Legacy, the sequel, and Daft Punk.
And I went for Wayne's World with Alice Cooper and Katty.
Basketball with Real Big Fish.
Right, so we'll be back shortly to talk about the Monster Squad.
Woo!
Monster Squad.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about The Monster Squad from 1987. Katty, what's The Monster Squad about?
So, Monster Squad is about a group of kids that all have like a little gang, and they call them
squad even.
A squad.
Yeah.
What is even a squad?
It's like Blazing Squad.
But not as many. So they have a squad. They call themselves the Monster Squad, and they are mad into like monster
They
films.
buzz off monsters, don't they?
They're all about it. That kid's T-shirt right at the beginning that says Stephen King rules.
Yeah.
I want that shirt.
Yeah, that is a good t-shirt, isn't
You
it?
should make it yourself.
That kid is so 80s.
He's so cool though.
Yeah, he is. All those kids are proper 80s and quite cool, but they are like, they couldn't have cast more 80s kids. They all had that like adult face.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine if I IMDb'd them now, they'd just look like that, but with a beard and probably like wider nostrils from where they've ruined it with
They're
cocaine.
from the 80s. If you IMDb'd them now, they'd all be dead from drug overdoses.
Yeah.
I was going to say something then, but it doesn't matter.
So they've got a little squad that they are mad into monsters.
Yeah.
And then what should happen?
The monsters come.
The monsters come. So we start actually with back in the day, 100 years ago, don't we? With Van Helsing.
We start with a title crawl that
Oh,
then goes into the thing with
I
the title
love that
crawl.
title crawl.
Did anyone see them rats that looked remarkably like armadillos?
Yes,
They
I
weren't
thought they were.
armadillos. They would. I don't know why they were meant to look like rats, but
But
I
they
looked it up.
squeaked, did they? But I'm sure they were armadillos.
Yeah.
They were definitely armadillos. So there's no doubt about. I don't know why they were. Why didn't they just leave them as armadillos?
I have no idea.
I don't. But the front, the opening crawl, it's like that red writing talking about the, what's it called? I was going to call it an almanac. Then the amulet.
Oh, okay.
And how that opens a portal, and it's like, they blew it. And I love that it said they blew it.
Yeah.
And then we get to see Dracula.
Yeah, I didn't get that. There was loads of coffins,
Yep.
but then Dracula comes from the ceiling.
Yeah.
He's just chilling. He's not properly asleep. He's just having a little, like, daytime nap. Maybe he's had, like, a couple of Dracula beers and he's got a bit tired and thought, I'm just going to have a little nap while all my, like, vampire ladies are in their coffins.
Is harem.
Yeah. And then Van Helsing comes in, doesn't he?
Oh,
Bust shit up.
Yeah.
With his young woman to read from the book.
But Van Helsing had an American accent.
Yeah. I know,
And he's supposed to be in, like, Transylvania.
Does Hugh Jackman have... How does he play it in the Van Helsing film?
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Well,
like,
they
Does
say-
he do like a I'm Van Helsing?
No, he's got an American accent.
yeah.
Even though he's Australian.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have been Australian? Alright, mate. I'm fucking Van Helsing.
Could you actually take an Australian Van Helsing seriously?
No.
Yeah, no.
No, there's your answer.
You'd need to be drinking 4X all the time. Like, oh, fucking hell.
Do you know, I used to love in films when they did like a beginning like this where they have like a little like set up where it's a like 100 years before, shows you what the film's going to be about, but what happened 100 years ago,
Yeah.
and then you get your film. Like that, when I was a kid, when that started, that just, I was proper like excited.
But, like, there's no reason to have a title crawl and this opening sequence, except for the fact the opening sequence didn't do enough to, like, if you just had that on its own, you'd be like, why the fuck was that in the film
Why are
until...
you picking it apart, man?
Yeah. Watch yourself.
Just
The title, the opening crawl or whatever, was for the joke about they blew it. That's all
Yeah.
I was there for. And why not? We're setting the tone.
Why didn't we just have, at the end of the bit where the portal closes and Van Helsing's sucked into the portal, maybe an armadillo turns up and looks into the camera and goes, oh man, they blew it.
Is it
Because
Australian?
That would make
Oh,
less
man.
sense.
Yeah, that is weird.
I would have enjoyed it more.
One, why is an armadillo in Transylvania? Two, why is the armadillo Australian? And three, why the fuck can it talk?
Yeah.
I would
Answer.
prefer that.
No, answer it.
Yeah.
This is your story.
Right, the armadillo went on a holiday from Australia.
Right, I don't want to hear it.
No, yeah, it's a shit.
Do you know what I loved? I loved the bit where, in the original one, the like the Virgin lady was reading. And sometimes if I'm stumbling through some reading and I'm like struggling, the thing that makes me read faster is an old man just screaming in my ear to read faster.
Read faster!
I swear there's a bit where it just cuts to him and he's just going, ah! And he's not even saying anything. I was like, I had to rewind it and he's just shouting, not even saying words, just being like, ah!
So Van Helsing's good under pressure as well.
He's great under pressure.
His arse is gone. He's shitting it.
Why have they waited until the last minute? They knew about this legend, but they only had like the last...
They had to find a German virgin in Transylvania. That's why.
I don't think it needed to be a German virgin.
Well, she's German.
Yeah, true.
And you've got to read it in German.
Yeah.
True.
So we get
that's
that
a good point,
introduction.
actually.
And then we cut to what was modern day 1987, I think.
87.
I love it when it says modern day, and you just when you're watching it, anything past.
Yeah, and it's just like present day, and you're like, yeah, that's not present day anymore. And we've got the kids, they're in detention, so we know that they're a bit cheeky. We find out they're in the Monster Squad. They've been drawing pictures, haven't they, of teachers? Yeah. And then we've got some casual, like, homophobia straight after that.
Like, because the teacher's very much like trying to be their friend and just been like...
He's a bit peedy, though.
You think everyone's a bit peedy.
No.
He's just like, science is cool, and gives them a thumbs up. And then they're like, they say something about he was trying to homo out with you or something.
Yeah,
exactly.
He was fully homoing out.
Yeah.
And like, oh, they didn't warn us about homos.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And I was like, what?
Like, I don't remember him touching them. And if he did, it was on the shoulder, maybe, like, book up
He
your
touched
ideas.
them a couple of times.
Did he?
Yeah, one of the kids was just like, oh, he kept touching me.
Maybe I just blocked it out.
No, you didn't see it. It was just insinuated or whatever. Yeah, so we had some...
Yeah, well, if you don't see it, it didn't happen.
Oh.
So, I'm part of the problem, aren't I?
Yeah.
I've just had this realisation.
So, I mean, the start of this film was quite, like... Well, of its time, but very, like, anti-homosexual. Like, the use of the word faggot was like really jarring.
It was thrown around like
nothing. And it's weird because that is probably an accurate portrayal of how kids talked in like the 80s. But it was really jarring to hear just how it was just banded around like nothing.
I remember when I was in high school, unfortunately I used that term, and then now, and it just felt awkward and...
Yeah. But the weird part is, because you're like, oh, well, the kids, they said that, but that'll have been written by, well, it's Shane Black, isn't it? So he'll have written...
I had no idea Shane Black wrote this.
That's why I love this film. I love Shane Black, so...
This year, he also... Lethal Weapon was out the same year.
Yeah, and then he did Predator.
He starred in Predator.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Shane Black?
Yeah.
This was a good time for Shane Black.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't know what he did after that. He decided just to not bother.
I remember listening to an interview with him, and Joel Silver was like, I'm shooting a film, Predator, why don't you come out and see what's going on? And he was like, yeah, okay then. And he was like, why don't you put on an army suit and like be in the film? And he was like, yeah, whatever. So then we start to see the characters. We've got like the strong lead, he's got his wisecracking kind of mate, and then we get the typical kind of like
Sean
fat
is the
kid,
strong lead, isn't he? Well, the typical.
Who is called Fat Kid.
Yeah.
They weren't even like, we're going to just leave it up to your imagination.
This, again, made me feel very awkward. Like, fair enough calling him Fat Kid. It's not good, but maybe the bullies called him. But his apparent friends called him
How
Fat
do you
Kid.
feel when you watch Goonies and they call him Chunk?
And there's Fat Amy in Bridesmaids, Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
She calls herself Fat Amy.
Pitch Perfect. Pitch doesn't.
Maybe the difference between Pitch Perfect is that she owns it and she's like, I'm Fat Amy. Whereas in this, he's like, I just want to be called Horace.
Yeah.
like Professor Slocum.
Like,
He's just like, I'm Horace.
Chunk doesn't like in the Goonies is he doesn't like the truffle shuffle. That's it. The rest of it, he doesn't care. And you don't get a feeling.
Yeah, but maybe that's passive aggressive. Like, he doesn't like the truffle shuffle because it is body shaming him.
He's got to wiggle
Maybe
his
he just
tits.
doesn't want to own up to the fact that
But
he
this
doesn't like
wasn't
being
even
called Chunk.
subtle at all. It was like the kid doesn't want it. And you're meant to be his friends, and you're still calling him fat kid like he's not a person.
Maybe
And then I
he
felt
loves it,
bad.
though.
Maybe it made him a stronger person.
Maybe it gave him a twitch.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe it's got some payoff.
Well, Fat Kid brought us
Rudy.
Rudy, who I love it because on my I was making notes on my phone, and every time it auto-corrected it to Rudyard. So all my notes, instead of being about Rudy, are about Rudyard.
What is
fucking
Rudyard?
Kipling. It's a name. But it was like, kind of like, do you mean Rudyard?
No.
So we see, he has that altercation with EJ, who's from the Wonder Years.
He is from the Wonder
Yeah, I
Years.
used to love him in Wonder Years.
He was a prick in that as well.
Yeah, he stands on his Snickers.
Fuck you, EJ.
I was half expecting it to be a marathon, to be honest.
It weren't though, it was
No,
Snickers.
it was a Snickers. So it must have been 80s then, or was it a Snickers in America before?
I think it were a Snickers in America, but it were a marathon over here, like
and then-
Lays and Walkers.
How old are you guys?
How old are you?
Marathon
More.
bars.
I mean, I never saw them when they were marathon bars, but I
Okay.
still
Oh,
know
I
about
remember
it.
a marathon bar.
You are old though.
I don't remember a marathon. I know about marathon bars, but I don't remember
Oh, so
them.
you're between me and Cham then.
Yeah, right, okay then.
We're
But I
narrowing
also
it down.
have a very bad memory.
Don't have a birth certificate when you live on the States. So
How many
then-
times
Don't
has
have
the
a
moon
birth
passed?
certificate in the UK if you're part of a certain sect of people who
right.
had them all thrown away. No, didn't hear about that. No.
No,
Okay,
we don't
then-
watch the news.
Oh, okay.
News is not for
We're
me.
on couth.
So we see Rudy comes in. So we're starting to
He's
get the
the
gang
cool
together.
kid.
He is the cool
How
kid.
do we know he's the cool kid?
Because he lights a match on his shoe.
Yes, he likes a match on his shoe. He's got a leather jacket. Doesn't he have leather gloves as well? Fingerless leather gloves.
Yeah, and he also
Sunglasses.
wears skinny black trousers with white socks and black shoes.
He's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, he's. I wanted to be him when I saw him.
Yeah, especially when I was younger, I would have wanted to have been Rudy, but I was more like Fat Kid. I'm basically wearing Fat Kid shirt right now. I was looking at their style actually, and I was like, that is what's in at the moment. Like, there was lots of kind of like big print shirts and Adidas, like big bold Adidas,
Yeah.
lots of Adidas. But yeah, that's something that's like come back in now.
What, 90s Jippo?
I love the idea.
Yeah,
Someone
basically.
said that, you know, the top bun that's really popular with a lot of
yeah.
hipsters, that's the current equivalent to a mullet,
Yeah, the mullet of our generation. So we start to get introduced to other people. So scary German guy.
Oh, Scary Joe Phoebe.
Phoebe the Phoebe?
Phoebe, yeah.
Yeah, why, by the way, why is everyone in this film a bully to everyone?
Yeah.
Like, even their apparent
Everyone's a
friends,
bully.
like, none of these people at the start of this
Do you
movie.
not have friends?
Yeah, but these seems like different type
Yeah,
of bullying.
like the cop bullies
Like,
his wife and his mate.
I
and-
say like nasty stuff to friends who I know and they don't give a shit, but when it's like an older kid saying it to a younger girl, like you're saying it, and when it's like two kids that don't know the fat kid and calling him fat kid, and when it's like it's just a lot of bullying and a lot of prejudice going around in this
Yeah,
film.
there is. I feel like
Kids are evil.
That's quite Shane Black. He's quite aggressive a lot of the time.
True.
Do you think he just walked around set punching the kids?
You're angry in this scene.
Oh, your Adidas sneakers are untied. Fucking hell. So then with the German guy, the Phoebe has been introduced, and then we start to get the monsters.
Yeah.
So they're on that plane. I love those two pilots, by the way.
Oh, they're great.
They are so good. Where he's like, I hate my job, and it's like, we don't have anyone who complains. They don't ask for peanuts, and he's like, actually, I love my job.
Yeah, he's a bit like
Proper flip-flops,
bipolar.
doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he's like-
Yeah, I
he's
love
just-
it. I'm really happy.
Like, I'm flying a World War II jet fighter. It's like, is that a jet fighter? Because that to me looks like a cargo plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And then we meet Dracula in the modern time, don't
Yeah.
we? He's in the back. He's got there's the coffin or crater box with Frankenstein in.
Yeah.
And so we meet Dracula. They drop Frankenstein out, and then they all start to come together, don't they?
Yeah, so the first one that we hear about in like normal sort of times is Wolfman.
Yeah, Wolfman.
Wolfman.
Yeah. So he's trying to dob himself in. And
He's
like, I'm a fucking dick.
Lock me up. I'm starting to turn.
Oh, yeah, I
Shit's
forgot
going
about that.
wild. I'm going to be a Wolfman.
I love the Wolfman in this. I know he was like my Wolfman choice from a couple of weeks ago, but I love the fact that he's wanting to dob himself in.
Yeah, he
He's
don't want
like-
to turn. He's
yeah.
like, I'm gonna eat people's faces off, and you're not gonna like
'Cause you
it.
would,
So
wouldn't you?
like,
If
shoot me in the face.
I know you described it, but it's really different you describing it to seeing it, and I agreed with that. Like, I liked that he was. It reminded me a bit of Buffy, you know, Seth Green in that.
Oh, yeah.
He's aware he's a werewolf,
I'm aware I'm a wolf. Soon as the moon hit.
and he says like "cheer me up" and stuff. But this
Yeah.
guy's more desperate, a desperate version of that, and I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good.
So they all meet up. They meet up at a swamp. We've got Wolfman comes together. The mummies escaped from a museum.
Yeah.
And got
and
into a
then-
kid's bedroom.
But then
Just a pit stop.
But they all meet up at a swamp, don't they? So Dracula comes out. Wolfman joins. The mummy's there, and then the creature from the Black Lagoon lifts Frankenstein's coffin, throws it down.
Oh yeah, bench presses that fucker,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Like, you think it's coming up because Dracula's doing something with his
Yeah.
cane, and then you
Yeah,
just
you
see
do,
Swamp
yeah.
Man go, "Oh no, fuck you guys!"
Guns. They zap him back into existence.
With a metal pole
Yeah.
connected to some crocodile clips.
It's very convenient that that's just in his pole.
Yeah.
And I think that brings us up to the end of part one.
Yeah.
All the monsters are together, and we've met the monster
Super
squad.
monster. So a monster group to tackle the monster
The
squad.
monster squad. Ooh, we'll be back
anti-squad.
shortly to discuss. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where we're talking about Monster Squad. So at the end of part 1, we'd had the group together. Rudy had joined for some weird reason, even though he looked about 20.
To perv on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
whose
the
sister?
sister,
Yeah, it was the other lad's sister, wasn't it?
the
dark
youngest
haired.
lad in
Yeah.
the.
Yeah. So did you just join for perving's sake?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like that was an added bonus. Like, he got there and was like, oh, sweet, I've got a good view.
We didn't get any good reason why he joined. I think he turned up and he was good to Fat Kid. Horace, sorry, I'm going to call him by his actual name.
Yeah.
Fat Kid is Horace.
He wants to be known as
yeah,
Horace.
Yeah.
It was good to Horace. And you don't see any real motivation. You just cut to him again, seeing like Horace is like, I think we should let him join the club.
Yeah.
And he's still there hanging out.
Yeah.
But he's
Just
not
lurking
saying he
behind the
doesn't
truck.
want to. He's not saying he does. He's just there. And then he's just there again. And then he's perving on the sister that talks
Who
to him. and-
loves getting naked by the window
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
some weird reason. And is she like watching herself in the mirror or something? Because she's always stood in the same spot.
Is she
being
Buffalo
like,
Billion?
boosh. Yeah. Tucking it in.
Is
Would
that
you
not
fuck
how
me?
you guys undress? I go to a window to undress. I've learned that from movies. It's one of the many lessons I've learned from movies.
Whose window are you going? Are you breaking into people's houses?
No, I'm on the outside.
Oh, I like that we got a little glimpse into your world. So they go to the German guy's house, don't they?
Scary German guy.
Yeah, scary German guy.
Oh, because his mum had bought him a book
Yeah.
from
Van
like
Helsing.
a jumble sale from Van Helsing.
Oh, it's written by
and
Van
it was
Helsing.
like jumbled letters, and he had to like work it out that it said Dracula.
Well, it was on the board, wasn't it? That it was like Alucard. But do you know what? Alucard, that's from... I remember watching like a really old Dracula film, like one of the first Universal films. And that was something that I think he went by something like Mr. Alucard, even in that. So it was like a callback to the
I
old
didn't know that.
Universal monster films. Just like there's a bit later with the Frankenstein, he meets the little girl by the river.
Yeah.
And there's a really famous scene where Frankenstein's monster meets a little girl by the river in the original one, and he drowns her.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the bits that was like one of first like shocking bits of cinema. And it was, so they've done like the research and they've done some nice callbacks.
I just thought when he was writing out, trying to figure out what is it? What's the word?
Alucard.
Alucard. he starts writing Dr. Acula. I just thought of Scrubs.
Dr.
Acula.
You fucking love Scrubs.
I love
You
Scrubs.
are so white. So German guy, I like that scene with German guy because it cuts to him with the knife, doesn't it? And he's
Yeah.
like,
That was
"Who
really-
wants
yeah.
another piece of pie?" or whatever. And Horace is all over it.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, like they're looking at all like these cool little like planes and
Planes,
stuff
yeah.
that he's got.
That was a nice moment as well when we leave, because he's helping them find out who the monster is.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you're really good. You really helped us find out the monsters." And he says
So he's
something
like,
like,
"You sure know a lot about monsters."
And he's got his little-
Now you mention it, I suppose I do.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
got his little Auschwitz
Yeah,
tattoo.
that made me a little bit sad
Yeah,
because
me
I like
too.
scary German guy.
Yeah, I liked Scary German Guy. And he got such a bad rep. They were talking about him being on welfare, weren't they?
Again, another really
Like-
prejudiced, like
bashing
fucking
people.
welfare people.
Oh, so poor.
Well, the fact that they were like, not only is he scary, but he's German. yeah, so
And poor.
Yeah.
he's poor, he's scary, and he's German. That must mean he's a cunt.
They even mentioned the Vietnam War, don't we? We're like,
Yeah.
we're not at war with
Yeah.
the Germans anymore. And then
And
the
Phoebe's
yeah.
like, we are with Vietnam.
If a 5-year-old's the one who's telling you who we're at war with,
Yeah.
you know, worry about your
I
education.
mean, she was wrong by some
Oh,
years,
wait.
right? 87? Was Vietnam still on? I don't know.
Don't know. She referenced Rambo though. That's one of my
she
notes.
did, yeah, because she was like, I've seen it in Rambo. Okay then. So yeah, there's that nice little moment with the German guy. I can't remember his name. I'm being prejudiced now.
I think he's credited as like scary German guy.
Is it called Klaus?
I honestly think I remember the credits as scary German guy. I could be wrong,
Okay then.
but I didn't think he had a name.
Yeah. Right, okay. So they find out from reading Van Helsing's book that there's a MacGuffin, a jewel that opens a portal to
amulet.
Limbo. Yeah, the amulet, which I had troubles writing. I didn't know how to spell that.
Amulet.
Amulet, yeah. I was like, I think I spelled it amulate. Yeah, so as well, they befriend Frankenstein, don't they?
The kid befriends.
He
Phoebe.
basically becomes Sloth, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit special.
It's very Goonies, this film, isn't it?
It is. It's a better Goonies, I think.
Yeah.
Why?
This one's got a dog called Eugene in it.
I thought the dog was called Pete.
Is it called
Yeah,
Pete?
the dog is called
Oh
Pete.
no, is it the owner that's called Eugene?
Well, who is that little boy?
Oh, so the owner of the dog is the one who's got the sister who's German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
German.
Knows German.
No, the kid who has the dog is that little kid who the mummy's in his closet.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
is that not the
no,
same
the
one?
other kid
Oh,
is
okay.
like his mate who drew the what was it, like man with wolf head or something.
You can already tell this film is better than Goonies by the way the fact we can't tell the difference between characters
I
and we
can't,
don't know
I'm just
who
telling
the-
you exactly who they all are. So basically what it all comes to is that they have to have a big standoff, don't they?
Yeah.
The kids have to face the monsters. And it sounds like I'm rattling towards the end, but this film, when the credits come on at the end, is 72 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Like,
only
and-
really short.
Oh, no, 76. An hour and 16 minutes. I was like, fuck me, this film's short. But I quite liked it.
No,
it
yeah,
was like
I liked the pace
proper
of it, yeah.
trimmed back. Didn't have all these bullshit scenes in to get it to an hour and a half. It was like, this happens. These are the people who need to fight them. Let's get you to it.
Yeah.
I feel there is only little bits where I would have maybe added 5 to 10 minutes on, but I do agree with...
Yeah, but who... I mean, maybe it's because they were quite stereotyped, but whose character did you need more fleshing out from?
Well, I think I needed at least more reason why the mummy ended up in the closet.
Yeah, like that was a bit odd.
Yeah, but that was just a bit of fun.
It
That was
was-
just to have that jokey scene where the dad's like,
Yeah.
oh, you've got a monster
But
in the
what's he
closet.
doing in there?
But
Like,
why did it matter?
Maybe he wanted to go for a piss.
why did it
He didn't want
matter?
to piss in the street.
Get it out of the film. Like, he can write a jokey little random bit, if it makes sense. Like, if he's walking down the street or breaking out of the... We didn't get him breaking out of a museum. That could have been a funny moment. Like, some people going to visit the
Are you
museum.
talking smack again?
What? Oh, yeah, about the film. I thought he was like, am I on smack? Which, also, yeah, but...
So you would have liked the same joke, but maybe with a bit more context.
I think a lot of it just needed extra, for certain scenes, an extra minute or two of context would have helped a lot more and wouldn't have added to the overall.
I felt like I was quite happy with it. I was like, I don't need to know why everyone's doing this, that, and the other. Just show me it. Just, this is what's happening. Yeah, fair enough. Like, if it's a joke, it's a joke. Like,
No.
I don't need...
We get to meet Eugene, and we realise that he's terrified of monsters, even though he's in the monster squad.
Yeah, he is.
And he writes his little message to the army.
I
Dear
like him,
army
yeah.
guys, monsters are here.
I like Eugene. I thought he was
Please
good.
help.
Yeah. So they have a first go at it, don't they, where they go to Dracula's house.
With
And they-
Frank.
yeah.
I'm going to just call him Frank because I liked Frankenstein in
And
this.
I like how much Dracula in this film loves his explosives.
Oh, he's mad for it.
Yeah, he's not about like biting people's necks or whatever. He's about sticks of dynamite
Yep.
and blowing people up in his doorway. How did he have like a proper
Yeah,
Coyote and Roadrunner style?
what's that
like,
noise?
bomb? Yeah. What if it was someone who was like Domino's Pizza and he was like, what's that noise? Boom. Just kind of fucking blow you up.
Fuck, blown up my second pizza today.
We're talking about pizza. That's how they defeat him that first time. Horace gets his little silver foil wrapped bit of pizza and puts it on Dracula's face, doesn't he?
Wait, had garlic in it.
Yeah, and he's like,
Oh,
and burns
yeah,
his
fuck
face.
yeah. I was just more thinking about his
Sweet body.
cupboard of virgins that he had going
What,
on.
Horace?
No, with Dracula. It was in
Horace
that
is a
house.
PIMP.
In his house, he had a cupboard of virgins, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he did, yeah.
Which
Cupboard.
cupboard of virgins.
Put her in the virgin cupboard. So then it all culminates to we get a sweet montage, don't we?
Oh,
to
yeah.
that great music where it's like rock until you drop, dance until your feet fall off, and they
I am
melt down
grooving.
the
I feel
silver.
like I should be wearing a sweatband.
Yeah, they make silver bullets, don't they, out of cutlery?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who can make bullets at school?
At
Every
15,
school. That's
like,
what
Yeah.
American schools are all about. That's why there's all the shootings, because they make the bullets in the schools.
I'm just gonna smelt all this silver down and like use this mold to make some bullets. But while I'm casual at school, like in DT,
by the way, I don't think that's the way you make bullets because he's essentially made. There's no gunpowder in that bullet, is there? There's no.
no.
Well, if you want to pick it apart. So there's a nice little
Yeah,
montage.
he makes weapons and they all
Yeah.
prep for the
they
final
sharpen
battle.
up. It's like Lost Boys, isn't it? Is this
Yeah.
pre-Lost Boys or post?
I think it's around the same year, isn't it?
I think so.
I felt like it was borrowing a lot from the Goonies, but I didn't know whether it was copying from Lost Boys. Yeah, same year, so yeah, can't say it copied. So I had that little sweet montage, and then there's the final standoff
Yeah.
where Rudy gets to show that he's a bad man.
Oh, on this point as well, Dracula's gone to find the kids and blew up their treehouse.
Yeah. We've not even talked about the parents, but we don't really need to.
No, the dad's a bit of
Oh.
a bell end.
Dad's a
they're
cop
having,
who
like-
commits to work. Mum stays at home, wants counselling.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the better parts of it. It was really, but the fact that the family's having these massive issues and don't give a shit about the kid, it made more sense why the family didn't give a shit about what the kids were doing.
Yeah.
Because like the mum and dad were at it, and at one point, like the 5-year-old is like, "Oh, are you gonna have a go at him?" or
Yeah,
something?
and she's like, well, he's just your dad. And she's like, no, I mean Sean did.
"Yeah." I was like that. That was good.
Yeah, I thought the family little stuff was good. Because I was like, yeah, come on, you need to be a better dad. But then I also understood that he had his
Yeah.
cop stuff to do. And I
Yeah.
like that he sat and watched the film. What was it, Groundhog Day 12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his son.
Nicked
That's the
it,
kind of
though.
stuff, though, that when I was a kid, I was like, why can't I watch films with binoculars and hear the sound? Which I thought was a bit much.
Yeah.
I want to like sit on my roof and watch a driving through
Were your
binoculars.
Sound
dad,
quality would have been
Casper?
terrible.
Yes.
What?
What, when me and my dad went to see Casper?
And he
me
slow
my bro-
clapped.
Yeah. I've not told you about that. The film
mean-
burnt up halfway through when we went to see Casper, me, my brother and my dad.
Oh,
And
I think it's
burnt
when we went to
up.
see Gremlins that you told
right.
us.
Yeah, and my dad was like, fucking Casper, shut it on. And like everyone in the cinema was like, shh, 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 shh.
Your dad's the guy from
Casper.
Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah, basically. Oh my god! Yeah. But it worked for him, and everyone started clapping and being like, "Casper, Casper!" And like, then they put the film on. And at the time, I was confused as to whether I was like, I'm embarrassed that you started this slow clap, or I actually love you. But yeah, crazy
Fucking
times.
hell.
So they have the big ending. The sister, the slutty, I get dressed in the window sister, we find out she's not.
Oh yeah, they needed a virgin to
Yeah.
read the.
Oh
So-
yeah, she starts to read it, and
Yeah.
I love that moment. That honestly made me piss
And she's
myself.
like,
Is this a
Steve doesn't
reference-
count, or whatever.
was
just
this a
tip.
reference to anal sex as well?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Where she was like, it doesn't count. Do you reckon
Yeah.
she was like, it's only up the bum? Up the bum.
I
no
thought it was
babies.
a reference to the fact that Steve maybe didn't last long.
Yeah,
Oh,
or maybe
I-
had a little dick.
And
I
what
took it
if
as a reference of in the bum.
Maybe it's both.
No, I'm done.
In the bum didn't last long.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it means
Maybe
it
it was
doesn't
all.
count.
Maybe
yeah.
it was all three of our suggestions.
Maybe it
Small
was-
dick, up the bum, didn't last long. And she was like,
Poor Steve.
I don't count.
And
So
then he
they-
dies in Critters.
So they bring out Phoebe, who's definitely a virgin.
Definitely.
Yeah, scary German guy loves that. He's like, good job.
Oh yeah, that felt a bit weird. Like
Yeah.
one kid asked, "Is Phoebe a virgin?"
I think it was more a case of he didn't know what a virgin was.
Yeah,
We'll
but
give
it
him
still
benefit.
felt weird.
So she comes out,
It's not
reads
it.
the script, and the portal opens, and everyone starts getting sucked off.
But Phoebe's and Frankenstein's monsters
I
relationship
know.
is so cute.
Yeah.
Because she's looking for a father figure. Her dad's barely there. She's using Frank.
Again, a couple more minutes of that relationship. I would give him like a 5-minute scene. You've got a short runtime. Give him 5 minutes of them hanging out more. I
Oh
would have
no,
absolutely loved
you
it.
got what you needed
Yeah,
from
we all
that.
know.
Like you
You
knew
did,
that,
but-
that he loved her because she didn't care how he looked.
Yeah.
And she didn't care how he looked because he actually gave a shit about her. And like she taught him how to speak.
Yeah,
and-
bogus.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other thing
Some
he
of the
says.
other words.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful. And she gives him him her teddy when he gets sucked off into
Yeah, so they all get sucked off. We get some nice moments. Rudy takes down like everyone basically.
Yeah.
Takes down all the vampire women.
Oh yeah, it's like,
Shoots the werewolf.
are you going to go after them? I'm in the monster squad, aren't I?
Yeah.
Badass
And do you know
line.
what? Talking about this is part of our practical effects season, but the bit with the werewolf, because where the dad puts dynamite down his pants,
Oh,
throws
yeah.
him out a window and blows up, and he's all in different parts, and they all start moving. That bit was pretty cool.
the special effects in general of all of the creatures
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
great.
When he shot the Dracula guy, and he was like a half bat, half man.
That was
That
awesome.
looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of
And-
the bats on strings, not so good.
The
on a
armadillo
fishing rod.
rats.
The werewolf transformation was good. The
It
first
was,
time
yeah.
you see it, it's under a cover, but you just see his like toes pop out. Second time is in a phone booth, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
That's the bit I was talking
Yeah.
about, right? And it uses good cuts between like the bars.
Yeah, I liked it.
So they read the script. All the characters get sucked down the hole. Dracula and Frankenstein has to go. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then the army or the National Guard turn up and like, who knows about this? And they're like, we do. And he gives him his card and he's like, who are you?
The Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they've got Eugene's little letter. Dear Army.
Yeah, dear army. We came for this. The dear army,
Why the
Dracula's
fuck?
here.
We also did miss Fat Kid getting his.
Yeah, he shows EJ that he's not just a piece of shit.
They stop him escaping the monsters, and so Horace has a shotgun, blows him away, and then when we come out and go, "Oh, you did all right, fat kid."
Yeah, you did good, fat kid.
Why
Backhanded
would you call
compliment.
a kid with a shotgun fat kid? Like,
Yeah.
and he goes, "My name is Horace," and then cocks the
Yeah,
gun.
Because of that bit there. That's why my
That's
name
all
is
they know.
Horace. And then,
But
Yeah.
you would not call a fat kid that you've been bullying the whole time
But
fat
would-
kid
would
when
you
he's
get that
just
joke? if you didn't, you won't get that joke.
Yeah.
But it just didn't make sense.
Well, we get one last little moment of Van Helsing, don't we? Turns up, grabs Dracula, gives him
Oh
a
yeah,
thumbs up.
from some
Oh,
weird
fucking hell.
portal
'Cause he
time
got sucked
universe.
into it, didn't he? In the 100 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
He
But it
gives
was
him a
still
thumbs
a
up.
weird thumbs up from the main kid, Sean, who was a bit of a bully throughout the whole film.
Do they even know what thumbs up are like 100 years
I
ago?
thought that was
Yeah.
a bit stupid.
It was very much Wayne's
Yeah,
World,
but we
that
don't
bit.
know what happens in Limbo. You might still be able to watch TV.
Okay.
And then it cuts to the end credits, and we get a Monster Squad rap. I love a song that has a rap about the film. It's like, ba ba ba,
Wait.
Dracula.
You weren't a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, which had a rap.
I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too.
The ninja rap.
Yeah.
The ninja rap.
Sometimes the raps are the best thing. I hate Wild Wild West, but I like the song. So that's the end. I'm going to go straight away and tell you what I think. I fucking love this film. I don't know why this film wasn't a bigger deal. Like, I know it's short. I know they scrimped on some character development. But in true Liam Reagan style, what he loved about Prince of Thieves, Aladdin 2, 76-minute running time is alright by me. It was in and out. Got some fucking great practical effects in this film. Really good. Some quite good 80s like songs in there. And I love it. Luxurious cheese all day. I wish we could do this podcast twice so I could talk more about how much I love it. But yeah, I love it.
I'm going to go next.
Right.
This were a banger.
Banger, yes!
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. One of my favourite films as a child, along with the Ninja Turtles, and other films that I don't want to say because we might do them.
Oh, yeah.
But loved it. Absolutely loved it. The better Goonies for me.
Yes!
Better Goonies is bullshit. I'll say that from the start. Nowhere close to Better Goonies by a mile.
Right.
And, fucking hell, just... Like I said, it just felt like it needed more time with some of them. And also, it doesn't hold up to Goonies because of the horrific, like, the prejudice that is rife throughout this film. There's nothing friendly about this film. Even, like, the darkest films, you have some sort of connection to some of the characters. I didn't feel connected to necessarily any one of these characters.
Okay.
But that being said, I'm a sucker for a film from this era, from this type, which is like a kid action adventure squad movie as it is. And I want to say I really loved this. I shouldn't have. I really should not have, because there's so much bad about it. But no, I'm gonna, despite my better judgment, I especially the end, more so the end, like the last third of that movie, I was laughing and I was enjoying it. So yeah, I'm going to say this is a fine luxurious cheese.
Yes!
I'm like so happy I want a high five.
I don't want a high five. I'm not going to high five because
I'm so
feel
happy about that. I
Your
thought you were
hands are
gonna hate
really
it.
sweaty.
you sweaty bastards. No, I don't know why fully yet. I've not had enough time to digest it, but yeah, no.
Right, okay then. Well, that's The Monster Squad for 2 weeks in a row. A film we all agree on as a luxurious cheese. So until next time, see you later, guys.
Toodle pip.